Welcome to Refugee Radio.
Welcome to the Refugee Radio programme. Today our special guest is Phil Minns from Best Foot Music. Welcome to the show, Phil.
Hello, Steve. Thanks for having us. I'll try not to put my radio voice on.
Welcome to the radio. Best Foot Music, established in 2009, a non-profit organisation that are involved in recording music from musicians from around the world, producing events, managing refugee artists and all manner of community actions and activities.
Yep, I mean, anyone who's come here from anywhere else in the world and wants to do music. We also have a sound system which we lend out to organisations that are doing sort of similar work to what we're doing, community organisations, what have you. Most recently that's been a lot with the Ukrainian community. Yeah, generally anything, it's cliche, but music brings people together.
And you were working with the British Library, I think, last time we interviewed you for the... Oh, no, maybe it was when you were doing the Brighton Festival. Can you tell us about those?
Yes, the Brighton Festival thing, that was at the REWAC, and the guests...
So for anybody that wasn't at the REWAC, what is a REWAC?
That's a good point. So, according to our friend Bashir, who's Sudanese, Arabic-speaking, it's an Arabic word, and a REWAC is a sort of horseshoe shaped, in this case it was wooden construction, called stage area, and the middle becomes like a social area where particularly like artists and musicians and things meet together. And the guest director that year was Marwa Al-Sabouni, who's an architect from Syria, and her thing actually is about architecture that's useful for communities, and kind of accessible and shareable by the community in the area, rather than being some kind of building that's just used for corporate offices or something like that. So the REWAC fitted very much with what she was doing. So yeah, because the guest director was Marwa Al-Sabouni, and she's Syrian, the festival got in touch with us. They wanted some Syrian bands, and they generally gave us sort of a full day and then some evenings, and all the musicians we booked or people we work with were musicians who've come as refugees or migrants. Most of them were Brighton based actually as well. So it was great. It was really, really nice. We were lucky with the weather. We had 2 days actually, 2 full days, and then a couple of evenings, and it was jam packed, and we had all sorts of different bands, musicians from all over around the world, and it was really lovely, sort of shared, really nice sense of community built up around the whole REWAC during the whole festival. So that was
Yeah, brilliant. And Best Foot Music doing a lot of work at the moment with the Ukrainian community, of course, in response to people having to come to the UK, many of them living with host families in Brighton and Hove. And we've got an event coming up. So this is the Razom. It's on the 17th of March, Sunday 17th of March, between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock at the Rose Hill Tavern. And okay, so firstly, this is an event with Best Foot Music and the Ukrainian community together, but what does Razom mean?
So Razom means together. It is Ukrainian for together, and it was originally there's a guy called Marek in Brighton, Marek Khan, who is a writer and activist and used to do this thing back in 2016 before Brexit. Did this thing called, him and his wife Sue did a thing called Club Europe. Which is all about sort of celebrating, European culture and Britain being part of Europe and a kind of outward-looking kind of, European-looking kind of. So we were introduced to each other, and we sort of came up with this idea. I can't really remember how we came up with it. We just kind of said, let's see if we can do something with the Ukrainian. Because by that point, I'd already actually met Dina Shenderetska. I met her at the Brighton Festival thing at the REWAC stage, and she'd literally been in the country for like just over a month, and we met her and started doing work with her, and then we met other local Ukrainian people who'd come here, obviously arrived more recently, and there was a Ukrainian choir formed. So we had this idea basically to do something that was a social space for Ukrainian people, the idea that they would meet people outside of the immediate Ukrainian community, start making people who've been here for longer, and it was a sort of friendship, and it's just a sort of chilled out, safe, comfortable space with Ukrainian food and Ukrainian music. So it showcases some elements of Ukrainian culture, but it's also a place where people can go and just relax and have a nice time. It's 2 till 6. It's open to everybody. It's free. It's child friendly. And the first one we made, we didn't make the food. Some people from the Ukrainian community made the food. Those people come in. The first one we did back in, I think it was June or July 22, and people come in and saying they hadn't had borscht since they'd left Ukraine. So it was nice. You know, obviously it's quite moving, but you know, because the reason that people are there is quite sad, obviously, but also at the same time it was like there was definitely a sort of sense of community building around it and a warm feeling as well. So yeah.
And this one is a bit special this time. So you've got a Ukrainian musician coming down from London. Nottingham,
yeah.
My bad, even further. Coming down from that Nottingham, and she's going to be playing the hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah,
which is it's like a hand. You hold it in your hands and turn a little crank, and it plays this. Anyway, but we're going to hear some of her music, right? And give people a sense of what to expect when they see her.
Yeah. So it's I don't know if it's a Ukrainian instrument, but it's definitely an instrument that's played in Ukraine a lot. She came down to Brighton last year to do a gig at the Rose Hill, which I should say is a really lovely venue, and they're really supportive people to work with. And she so we got chatting with her, and you know, it was just sort of because you know there's a local Ukrainian choir, and there's a Chichester choir as well, and we've relied very much on the local Ukrainian musicians, which is great, and they're all really great as well. But when we heard Irina, we just thought she's a little bit different from what they do. Let's get her involved as well, and you know, really we want to kind of make Razom a thing where musicians from different places can come and share their music and be together really as well. So,
brilliant. Yeah. So this is Irina Muha.
Yeah.
Ой, не стишуся, мій милий, бо не маю сили, мав з тебе небо краєм, лютні голосили. Ой, не стишуся, допоки не дістанеш дому, мав лише тобою спокій у світі цілому. Ой-ой-ой-ой.
So you're listening to the Refugee Radio Show on Radio Reverb 97.2 FM in the Brighton Hove area and online at www.refugeeradio.org.uk for all of you podcasters out there. That was Irina Muha with her song Come Home, which is a response to the events of the war in Ukraine following the full-scale invasion. And Irina Muha is playing at the Razom event, which is a local Ukrainian community event at the Rose Hill Tavern, Sunday 17th of March, 2 till 6. The Rose Hill is a cool little place, isn't it? So it's just near the sort of Preston Circus where the fire station is, and it's just tucked around the back.
Yeah, top end of London Road.
And it's a very much a community space. They have loads of events and stuff going on there, and they've been really supportive of these Ukrainian community events.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really nice kind of arts venue. I should say the Razom thing is free as well, actually. That was paid for by a funding application via Refugee Radio, actually. So thanks for that from Brighton Council, I think.
Brighton Hove City Council, yes.
Brighton Hove City Council. So yeah, it's a free event, and there is Ukrainian food, and everybody's welcome. We really encourage. I think at the moment as well, because obviously the war's dragging. There was a memorial event last weekend because it's 2 years now since the full-scale invasion, and it feels like the war's dragging on. And hearing from a lot of Ukrainian people, they're feeling very tired, and it's becoming more difficult, to keep the momentum going. And people are feeling, just tired and stressed and kind of quite downbeat by it all. So, come along and support. I know quite a few people who've come to the UK as refugees have said to us in the past, it helps them feel better if people who aren't, I don't want to say English people because it can be all sorts of people really, but people people who've been in the local community for longer just come along and show up, can feel supportive, kind of thing. So yeah, and also the music's really good and the food is delicious and the atmosphere is great. So there's lots of things there to enjoy. Sorry, I'm waffling.
And Best Foot Music have been working with the Ukrainian Voices Choir, which is a local choir of Ukrainian refugees, people living in exile from Ukraine in Brighton and Hove. They've been performing fairly regularly at the events you've been doing at the library and at the Razom events that have been happening at the Rose Hill. You've got a recording from them as well. I think this is from a recent gig at the Jubilee Library.
Yeah, so this is from the Jubilee Library. Should we play that now and chat a bit about
let's
Jubilee Library afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Ukrainian Voices, and the song is called Shendrivka. I might be mispronouncing that. It's a carol that is sung on New Year's, wishing people well for the new year. I should say it's a live recording, and the choir started this thing off stage. They sort of started singing as they were walking through the crowd. So the first bit's a bit quiet, but then you can come onto the stage. They come on the stage and you can hear them better.
Там збирало
вечір, доброго дня, good evening, good afternoon. We are Ukrainian choir.
That was the Ukrainian Voices Choir on Refugee Radio. We're here today with Best Foot Music in the body of Phil Mins. Phil, thanks again for sharing that with us. So this was the Ukrainian Voices Choir recorded at the Jubilee Library.
Yeah, on the 27th of November. So Jubilee Library, obviously the main central library in town. That was the 5th event we've done with them now. And they're great. I mean, it's a really nice, supportive team. They approached us just before lockdown and said, do you want to do an event here? I think this, libraries are so much more than, I mean, obviously books are an important part of it and going and reading and what have you, but there's so much more. They're a really good community space. And I think the Brighton one in particular is a really nice example of a really great sort of shared community space. And there's a little cafe there and there's lots of different resources. And they asked us if we'd do an event there, so there's a little stage, and they've ended up being really popular. And it's a really nice place to do events. And it's right in town centre, so you can walk to it or get the bus as well. And they're always free. So, yeah.
Yep, and they're going to be, just to remind people, you'll be able to see the choir in person at the Rosehill at the Razom event.
Yeah,
on Sunday, 17th of March. They'll be playing there this afternoon.
Yeah, they'll be there with Arena Muha. Playing, and they're excellent, really good choir. And they do sort of mixture of Ukrainian folk songs and a few modern ones as well. And it's very much community exercise. It's community exercise. It's not an exercise. It's a community thing. They started when after the war they came here, kind of thing, and they started it when they came here. Quite a few of them had said they'd never sung before in public. There's a post on our website actually, which you can, if people go to our website, you can see it on the front page,
which is
www.bestfootmusic.net, and there's a link to Ukrainian Voices Choir which is an article, blog post written by the choir with quotes from the women in the choir talking about why the choir is important to them. So it's quite a good place to get information about them.
And another artist that you've been working with at the library in particular is Bashir Al-Gamal. Bashir's a friend of the show. We've had him on here before doing some live stuff. And great news for Bashir. He's a poet and oud player and singer from Sudan. And he's been making music and selling the songs in order to raise money for a well back home in his village, and he's finally done it, hasn't he? He's got the money together and the well's been constructed. Yeah,
incredible, really, really incredible news, and a really, amazing effort by Bashir and his friends and family. So, I mean, we've been doing gigs with Bashir for probably a good 10 years now, and he's been involved in projects with Glyndebourne. He was at Salisbury Cathedral a few months ago, I think beginning of this year. Really interesting projects, and he's also, like you say, he's an amazing kind of poet and writer himself, and his music is often, he writes songs for well-known Sudanese artists. And I think we met Bashir at one of your gigs actually, when we first met him, and then did some recordings with him, been doing gigs with him, and ever since I've known him, he's been talking about wanting to get this water well, because the village where he grew up, if you see it, it's been really badly affected by the war, and there's cholera, the water's not clean, kind of thing. So they've been wanting to get clean water supply for years, and they've been saving up, and they've put in this effort, and they've done it. Obviously, at the moment, obviously the war has just really kicked off there again this last year or so. I mean, that's sort of obviously really tragic, and Bashir is not able to go there and help at the moment, but they have managed to get the money over, and the water well, and he showed me pictures. The village people sent pictures over.
Yeah, we put those on our Facebook. It was great to see, because it's something that he's been talking about doing and working towards for so long.
And it it really matters to those people there, and it's it's clean water, which they didn't have access to before. And so, I mean, I don't know what's happening in Sudan at the moment, but hopefully that kind of will stop, and Bashir will be able to go over again, and people will be able to live peacefully, hopefully.
So, Best Foot Music, Phil, you've been described as the Alan Lomax of Brighton, going around doing these field recordings, but instead of working with, unknown bluesmen of the Mississippi Delta. You're recording Refugee and other migrant musicians that you've come across in Brighton Hove. And Bashir's one of them, of course. And he's got a new song that
he does have a
recorded,
new song, yeah.
And is this an exclusive preview, or what do you call it? Yeah, this is the premiere of the song on radio.
He played it, yeah, it's the premiere of it on radio. He played it at the library gig. Just a little backstory to this is Bashir had picked up an infection the day before, and he'd been in A&E till 9 in the morning, and he was on at stage. He'd gone to A&E the night before and had been there till 9 the next morning, and then he still came and did the gig at 12, which, you know, I would have absolutely completely understood if he rang me up and said, I haven't been very well. Can I give it a skip? So yeah, massive respect to Bashir really, and he's a really nice bloke to work with.
Yeah, that is rock and roll.
Yeah. He did go straight after the gig. I need to go to bed. Down, So yeah, this is "Drowned by War" by Bashir Al-Gamal.
أسكن عيونك طول غيري يغمرني نورك أحترق يغمرني نورك أحترق مديت ايد بنادي الشباح الوهم يا بدايات النهاية يا نهايات العشق كيف الخلاص لزول بيعيش أحزان وحد الزمن حدق وقف حدق وقف راجي الربيع ببوح ويتدفق الشجر أميش منك أقبل وين أميش منك أقبل وين يريدك أصبح لي وطن يريدك أصبح لي وطن ويا الحبك أصبح لي وطن. Thank you. Thanks.
Now, Bashir Al-Gamal with "Drowned by War." That was performed live at the Brighton Jubilee Library as part of a performance for Best Foot Music. And aren't you lucky? We've actually got Phil Minns from Best Foot Music in the studio with us today. Phil, where can people find out more about Bestfoot Music and listen to some of these other amazing recordings that you've done?
Well, there's our website, which is bestfootmusic.net, and there's the Facebook page, Instagram, the usual kind of stuff. I try and avoid Twitter because I just moan on it all the time. It's so negative. But we've got a Bandcamp page as well, and there's a link on our website. So if you go to bestfootmusic.net, that's linked to the music pages, which everything's on Bandcamp. All the recordings from the library are on there as well. Most of the recordings we just put on there so people can listen to them. We don't sell them. There's a few of them, like there's a couple of EPs by Bashir and one by some of the Syrian artists and the Ukrainian artists that we do sell. The money from those goes like directly via those people to organisations that are supporting people that are affected by the war, and the organisations are chosen by those people. They're not something we've said, let's donate to that. It's, because the Ukrainians know better where the money needs to go to, likewise the Syrians and Bashir. So all of Bashir, Bashir is still supporting the school in the village, even though they've got the water well, he's still putting money towards the school and helping kids out over there. So every time he goes, he takes over a lorry full of books and pencils and clothes and things like that. So yeah,
this is my favourite thing about Bestfoot Music. Everything just goes directly to the artists. Even people contacting you to put gigs on or events you're organising yourself, everything goes directly to the artists, and you make sure that they get paid properly because they're musicians, they're professionals out there.
Yeah.
They deserve to be treated as equally as badly or as well as British musicians are treated when they're being asked to do gigs and performances.
Well,
yeah, at least make it fair.
The thing of treating musicians well in this country, it seems not. But yeah, I mean, we make sure people are paid, and we really do. Occasionally, like an organisation will get in touch with us, and they're doing a fundraiser, and that's up to the decision of the musicians, really. Sometimes, if it's like Syrian Community Group and they're doing something that's raising money for Syrian refugees, then usually the Syrian musicians, Jamal and Allah, are kind of happy to do that for free, but it's at their discretion.
So talking of Syria, we've got another event coming up at the time of recording. Anyway, this is an upcoming event, and it's a Syrian musician who's living in Ireland at the moment called Mohammed Sifkin is coming to Brighton. He's got an album called I Am Kurdish, and it's the album launch party apparently on the 16th of March, 7 p.m. in the evening at the Rose Hill Tavern. My understanding is it's sold out, but if you're lucky, you might be able to blag your way in. There's some kind of donation level VIP experience potentially to be had there on the door if you're charming enough. Mohammed Sifkin recorded an interview recently with Ireland's RTE radio on the Lorcan Murray show, and thanks to a lovely bloke there called Luke Clancy, we've got a clip from that interview that we're going to share with you before we play you some of Mohammed's new album.
Mohammed Sifkin's exile from Syria saw the Kurdish musician wind up in Leitrim and discover there a welcoming international music scene. This included Willie Stewart, founder of local underground label Nya Records. They've just released a first Irish album, I Am Kurdish, from Mohammed Sifkin. Culture Files' Quaylen McNamara went to sample some music and some coffee.
Coffee?
A coffee, yeah. Thanks a million.
Arabic coffee, Turkish.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
أنا بس بدي جلاس فارغ 10 بالمي بس. جلاس شرب بيو؟ لا خليه شرب بيو خليه يجيب لك.
Bouzouki different this, but this name saz.
That's the name of the instrument?
Yeah. He have five strings. Yeah, five. This maybe يعني ممكن أي بيت كردي أو حاليا للبيوت العربية.
Almost all the Kurdish family and most of the Arabic family, maybe they have one of these at home, he says.
Yeah. تعطي حنية صوت وبعدين أنت ممكن يعني
play anything you want with this one, and all of these black lines here, they are like tones. It can any one of them will gives you the different tones.
I am Mohammed Saib. I'm Kurdish. I'm from Syria, but now I'm from Ireland. Maybe you ask me, who are you? I speak, I'm Kurdish. I write this song, I Am Kurdish, in my heart I write. In Syria, the government kill Kurdish because Kurdish not good. ISIS kill Kurdish because Kurdish not good. My first son, my big son, number one, ISIS kill him because he Kurdish, only Kurdish. I write for my heart because everything I write, I understand what I write. This for Kurdish. Before I play oud, but because I am Kurdish, I changed to bouzouki. Yeah. I like too much bouzouki because bouzouki in my country and all country there, the bouzouki very famous there. I like bouzouki. I like sound for bouzouki.
So I was at the Dock Arts Centre in Carrick doing my thing, and place was packed, you know, and then this guy in like a leather jacket holding a bouzouki case just sort of walks in, and I clocked him immediately. And I was like, who's this lad, you know? So he walks up to me and he just basically hands me his cable for his bouzouki and goes, where do I plug in? And I was like, what? Like, who are you? Like, no one told me there was going to be live music. So we figured it out. I managed to hook him up into the PA, and he played, and like everybody there just started dancing, like traditional kind of Kurdish dance. And it was like, whoa, I feel like I've been waiting for this lad for years.
When I play, maybe my brother really understand. Where I play, maybe everybody happy. When I play in my music here in Dublin, in Sligo, in Cork, everybody happy and dance. I'm from Syria, you know, I'm refugees, I'm coming here. My language, maybe you see now, my language not good. Maybe you don't understand me, but anybody, musician coming here, I play, he play. Maybe he understand what I play, I understand what he play. What I remember in my country, I give him in music and song, he understand. The language, I think not sure good. Maybe you speak Arabic or you speak Kurdish or you speak Turkish, but music, world language. ما ظل صبر بينا مر بينا مر بينا بين.
There's a small bit of resistance in Ireland at the moment to, people coming in here from different countries, which is very sad and ironic because, Ireland is probably one of the biggest nations of emigres in the world. But the fact that people just are really embracing the music and Mohammed himself is a really good sign, I think, for Irish society.
The people from Ireland, good and nice. I don't know, but good and nice. أظن إنه نسيتي أهم سؤال هو إنه إيرلندا بلد.
I think that the Irish people are very lovely and kind people to everyone here. They have not any discriminate between who I am, Kurd or Arab or Turk or where I am coming from. I think I am very, very happy that I am living here in Ireland, and thank God that finally I got my path to here in Ireland. He says the Irish people, they are people, they are struggling for, they like freedom, they they don't hate anyone and they respect everybody.
Yeah, I'm happy.
And سعيد هون في كاركان.
Yeah, I'm very happy because everybody relax and good. No any crazy in here. I live here maybe 6 years, but here everything okay, good.
Mohammed Sifkan there, and I Am Kurdish is on Nya Records, which you can find on Bandcamp.
So believe it or not, you are still listening to the Refugee Radio Show. That was a clip from RTE's Lorcan Murray show where they're interviewing Mohammed Sifkin, who's coming down to play in Brighton on 16th of March at the Rosehill for the launch party of his album I Am Kurdish. And we're going to play you a sneak preview from that album now, but don't tell anyone. So that was Mohammed Sifkin from his new album I Am Kurdish, and if you want to catch the album launch party and if you're lucky enough to get a ticket, that's down at the Rose Hill on the 16th of March. So I'm here with Phil Minns from Best Foot Music on the Refugee Radio Show. You can hear us on Radio Reverb 97.2 FM, perhaps that's where you're listening now, or maybe you're on the podcast or the website www.refugeradio.org.uk. Now those of you who've been paying attention will notice we've had Ukrainian music, we've had Syrian music, and now we're going to do something completely different. So what's this, Phil? This is Ukrainian music and Syrian music at the same time?
Yeah, this is a new thing that was, well, not that new. It was played first time in public at the Jubilee Library on the 27th. So Dina and Polina are a duo. So we met Dina. Polina's been living in the UK for a long time. She's originally Russian, but she's massively not into Putin or, doesn't support it. And I met Dina, Best Foot Music met Dina at the Rewax stage back in 2022, and Polina met her there as well, and they got chatting and they got on and they formed a duo together. And then Jamal and Allah, the Syrian duo, been again working with for quite a long time, and they were getting, and they ended up being on the same bill at quite a few gigs, so they got to know each other a bit. And we sort of had this idea of, let's mix it up a bit and do a Syrian-Ukrainian fusion. And then there was a project we were involved with the other organisation I work for is an organisation called Music Action International, which are a brilliant organisation. And we did a project with them last summer. They did a project in Brighton last summer, which I was involved with. And Jamal and Allah and Dina were all part of this project, and it was with young children who come as refugees. And they wrote some songs together and they learnt some songs together, and so Jamal and Allah and Dina kind of all played together. So that was a sort of step in them actually, rather than being just on the same bill, that was actually a step in them making music together. And after that it was just like, all right, let's actually do this. And so we did a couple of rehearsal sessions at the Jubilee Library, and then they performed together live for the first time at the gig on the 27th, and it was, everyone, it went really well, and it was a really nice, interesting thing to do, and everyone's keen to do some more kind of thing. So yeah, hopefully.
It's quite a different musical tradition, Syrian music and Ukrainian music. They're not even necessarily using the same notes or the same number of notes or any of the same scales or any of that stuff.
No, I mean, I've got to say, I'm not a music. I don't really. I love music, but I'm not a music player or writer, so I don't quite understand how all that side of things works. I'm aware that there are different scales and what have you, but they're all good musicians and they kind of worked it out. So Allah played the oud and Jamal had the percussion, and they what they started with was Dina had a Ukrainian song that she liked and she knew. Allah learnt the parts on his oud, so they played that and Dina sang it. And then there was a song that Jamal had written which is called Salamun, which is the Arabic word for peace. Jamal had written that. Jamal played the percussion, Allah played the oud, and then Dina learnt some of the words, like the chorus bit and some of the what's the thing that's not the chorus? The verse. In Ukrainian. You did
say you weren't a professional musician.
Yeah, I'm not a musician. There you go. That's embarrassing. Yeah, so Dina learnt a verse and chorus in Ukrainian. Polina came with her flute. I mean, she's really good. She can adapt to everything. And they just, we had this rehearsal session. It was really interesting to sit and watch them rehearse and work it out. And it feels genuinely like a collaboration. They are all sort of chipping in ideas about how things could work. We've actually had a booking inquiry for them already, actually, for a festival this summer. So I'm hoping we can do more, and they're all keen for it. So yeah, let's listen to that instead of me waffling.
Let's have a listen then. Yeah, this is Jamal and Allah and Dina and Polina with the Syrian-Ukrainian Fusion project. As yet unnamed, do email info@refugeradio if you have any suggestions.
So we're gonna sing an Arabic song wrote by Jamal about peace. And please welcome the Syrian kids. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
يا
жорстокої війни.
أوقفوا الحروب من أجل الأبرياء وأعطونا السلام. Stop the wars for the innocent and give us peace.
Зупиніть війну для невинних і дайте нам мир.
سلام
سلام سلام شعوب العالم سلام. Peace, peace, peace for all people of the world. Peace.
Мир, 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 для всіх людей в світі мир.
يا رب my God, يا رب my God, يا رب my God,
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you.
Jamal and Alla and Dina and Polina with the Ukrainian-Syrian fusion and the kids on the backing vocals there.
Yeah, the Syrian Children's Choir, which is a thing Jamal and some of the Syrian community do on. They sort of manage it on Sunday afternoons at their community meeting. I forgot to say about I forgot the kids were on that song. The Jamal plays that song with the kids, and Jamal wrote that song, and he's been teaching the kids it. Dina and Polina had practiced it, but the kids had never played with Dina and Polina before. That was the first time they'd actually met. So the kids had a little quick rehearsal that morning, but they hadn't had a chance to actually rehearse with Dina and Polina because Dina and Polina are playing with one of the other bands, with the Ukrainian group. So that was the first time they'd actually all played together, was on stage. And the kids were really cool. They were just like, yeah, whatever, we can do this. I mean, they're all young. They're all sort of aged between sort of 5, 6 and sort of 10, 11 maximum. And they're just like, yep, we've got it. We know what we're doing. And they did a really good job. So it was really nice to see.
Fantastic stuff. And we've got a poem that we want to share with our listeners. This is something that was recorded at a recent event, which was the Ukrainian Memorial. So this is a memorial of the start of the full-scale invasion of the war that's been going on for a long time now. And this is an event that the Ukrainian community in Brighton and Hove organised for them all to be able to come together, and for people from Brighton and Hove to be able to come and show their support as well, to just remember what's happening and keep it in people's minds, and also for them to have a chance to come together as a community.
Yeah. So the poem is called Take Only What Is Most Important. And it's by Zeri Zadan. I'm probably mispronouncing that. But it was read by Nastia, who's one of the Ukrainian musicians. She's great. She's really good. So she's also she's an actor as well. So she read it out, and it's called Take What Is Only Most Important.
Take only what's most important. Take the letters. Take only what you can carry. Take the icons and the embroidery. Take the silver. Take the wooden crucifix as the golden replicas. Take some bread, the vegetables from the garden, then leave. We will never return again. We will never see our city again. Take the letters. Take them all, every last piece of bad news. We will never see our corner store again. We will never drink from the dry well again. We will never see familiar faces again. We are refugees. We'll run all night. We'll run past fields of sunflowers. We will run from dogs, rest with cows. We'll scoop water with our bare hands. Sit, waiting in camps, annoying the dragons of war. You will never return. And friends will never come back. There will be no smoky kitchens and usual jobs. There will be no dreamy lights in sleepy towns, no green valleys or suburban wastelands. The sun will be a smudge in the window of a street train, rushing past beats covered with lime. There will be blood on women's heels. The guards on borderlands covered with snow. A postman with empty bag, shot down. A priest with a helpless smile hanging by his ribs. The quiet of the cemetery, the noise of the common post, an undenied list of dead, so long that there will be no time to check it for your own name.
You're listening to the Refugee Radio programme on 97.2 FM Radio Reverb or online www.refugeeradio.org.uk. My special guest today has been Phil Minns from Best Foot Music, and we've been here talking about their work with the Ukrainian and Syrian community, but particularly we're thinking about the upcoming Ukrainian community event, the Razom, at the Rose Hill Tavern on Sunday the 17th of March, 2 till 6 p.m. Phil, we are going to play out with the Ukrainian Kids Choir. Now, I've been doing a weekly class, a comic book class with some of the Ukrainian children, and this is the reason why they didn't turn up for 2 weeks in a row, is because they were secretly practicing for this choir. So hopefully it's going to be a good recording, and hopefully it was a good event.
Well, the music's good. I can't guarantee the recording. Let's just stick it on, I suppose.
I'll just say before we go, we've just had enough time to share some of the entries for the name the Syrian-Ukrainian fusion band have been coming in during the programme. So the first suggestion was JPAD, which is just taking the first letters of the names Jamal, Nala, Polina and Dina. Or we could take the first 2 letters of each of their name. One of our listeners has texted this in, so it'd be Aldi Japo. So, Aldi Japo or JPAD. I think we can, if keep them coming in, info@refugeeradio.org.uk. We might get some more suggestions for you before their next gig at this festival in the summer. Okay, this is thanks again to Phil Minns from Best
Thanks
for
Music.
Having
us.
And this is the Ukrainian Kids Choir.
We have special guests today, Ukrainian kids who are gonna sing with us. We have rehearsed a little bit. No, we have rehearsed enough, and they're absolutely ready to smash it. So make sure you support them, okay? Can you do that? Thank you so much.
Крило, моє ім'я Україна, і сонечка тепло, моє ім'я вишиванка, я хрестик на полотні, моє ім'я синє небо, я в сонях липене, такові слова. Мамині пісні, Україна це ти. Моє смоки, моє ім'я хліба смак,
Останній шкільний дзвіночок, над сивим Дніпром туман.
моє ім'я то надія, моє ім'я то любов,
Моє ім'я чиста мрія, і віра, що з нами Бог.
тато
Воля, воля, переможе силу воля.
Моє ім'я та родина.
Родина, родина, наша вільна батьківщина.
Моє ім'я добре слово, що збереже цей світ. Татові слова. Україна – це я. Мамині пісні. Україна – це ти. Україна – це ти.
Thank you very much. We are Ukrainian Voices.